Well, thank you, gentlemen, for setting the background, to what has been happening so far. Sadly, we do not have more details of what has been happening in Kano and Imo State as well. Some people will say it's impeachment season. But joining us right now to discuss, should we say, his own perspective of what transpired yesterday in Benue State, we have with us Paul Biam, who is the chairman ad hoc committee on information, media and publicity in the Benue State House of Assembly. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much.
I want to believe that you were agreeing, as I heard you in the background, saying yes,
yes I did.
To some of the things that were, being stated, by my colleagues there, set in the background.
Yes.
But can you give us your own account of what transpired yesterday?
Yes, I expect that you are specific about yesterday. I would have been more clearer if I had taken it from the beginning. But if you insist, going by your question, yesterday we had adjourned the House to reconvene on the 15th. And let us not also forget that an adjournment of the House can only be done with a resolution of the House sitting in plenary. Mm-hmm. That was done based on the previous sitting. We sat and found that our former speaker, by certain attitude that were brought to our notice, a vote of no confidence was passed on him, and subsequently members, principal officers of the House, the speaker was impeached, and we adjourned to reconvene on the 15th. But let us also note that the House can reconvene at any time, giving a notice on issues, to discuss issues that pertain to the welfare and good governance of the state. And so we reconvene again when it became very necessary. And as we were approaching the Benue State House of Assembly, we saw the entire house being besieged by armed two-third policemen. And indeed, at the main entrance of the Benue State House of Assembly was a whole vehicle, a bullion vehicle, as if we were going into a war.
Are you talking about yesterday now?
Yes, I'm talking of yesterday.
You tried to go to the House of Assembly.
We tried to go. First is that we sought to go before the 8 members that are being spoken about. And we stopped by this policeman. An armored tank was stationed at the entrance, and there are pictorial evidence to this effect. And our speaker came down, and the police demanded that we should bring out the ID cards, which was also complied with. Yet they could not allow us. So we retreated. And on his side, we knew and we informed that 8 of those members that are purported to have given an impeachment order on the governor had access and were aided by this policeman. So we made an attempt to also come for a second time, and we still refused entrance.
Honorable, from the account that you're giving me, it was saying that, you said first of all that you tried to, go to the State House of Assembly yesterday in the morning, even before the 8 members.
That is true.
Now, the manner in which you say you approached the State House of Assembly gives me the impression that you approached the place as a group.
Not as a group. Usually, when you are in one place, sometimes you establish friendship. And so sometimes when you leave your house, you try to connect your colleague. Mm-hmm. And so that was exactly, maybe you are in clusters of 3, 4, 5. But when 3 persons are stopped and prevented from entering, certainly by the time you are waiting and arguing with the policeman, some other of your colleagues will join you. And so this is the way it happened. We did not come in group. And we found ourselves by the time that we had to retreat, that we were almost running into a number beyond 10.
At what time was this?
This was around 9 o'clock in the morning, because our sitting commences by 10. And so we prevented completely from getting into the premises of the State House of Assembly.
But your other colleagues were already inside?
No. It was until we left that we got information, because they came well after we had made a first attempt to go in. And so when they came, they did not come in their private vehicles. They were shuffled in a bus, followed by gun-toted policemen, who came in with an understanding and they were allowed entrance. That was when we were alerted. At this time, we had retreated somewhere and we're now in a group. And so we had to come back in our various cars, including our speaker, and yet we refused entrance. That was the time we raised an alarm, and there was nothing we could do. And so, by the definition of the privileges attached to us and constitutional provisions, we decided as law-abiding citizens not to take laws into our hand and engage the police in a skiff-off. So we decided to retreat and also find a more convenient environment to commence our proceedings, which is exactly what we did.
The more convenient environment happened to be?
Yeah, by protection, because at that time we felt if the police, without giving any reason, and there are no traits in the assembly precincts, and we can see gun-toted policemen, including an armored car station, we became a bit worried, and we needed protection. And we sought protection from the speaker, and he said that we could only be protected at this point in Government House, which is exactly what we did. And let us not also forget that the constitutional provision or Constitution of Nigeria allows us to convene if we have the number that makes up anywhere within the precincts of Benue, which is exactly what we did. But the sitting took place in the old banquet of Government House.
It is interesting. Benue State has been through a lot in recent times. I mean, let's not even begin to talk about the crisis that the state has had to face, the conflict, between farmers and herdsmen, in quote, the results of the humanitarian crisis that has stemmed out of that. In all of this, we haven't heard of impeachment. We haven't heard that, as a result of what is going on, we're not satisfied with the conduct of the speaker, or we're not satisfied with the conduct of the governor. But now, it is political season, and we begin to see, a lot of movement around the State House of Assembly and also even in Government House. Some people will say that all that has gone on in the last few weeks all has to do with the politics of 2019. Will they be wrong?
I wouldn't conclusively say that it has to do with the politics of 2019. As a House of Assembly, we are largely completely detached to the executive arm of government. I told you when you sought to know that I'm a PDP person, and I have been PDP from the beginning. I came into the House as a result of a court ruling, which meant that the House was inaugurated before I came, and the Speaker emerged. Let us look at how the Speaker emerged. My party, the PDP, before the inception of this 8th Assembly, was in the majority. They had 16 over 14. And the Speaker, the former Speaker, was an APC man. And so 2 members defected from my party, the PDP, and gave them the majority, which gave him an advantage. And politics has been playing in the state. But let us also look at the reason as to why the impeachment of the Speaker took place. For some time, you also recall that in his remarks, which are also documented, he said he remains Speaker because the House was adjourned. I want to also debunk that fact, that the House was never in recess.
We will get to that in a moment, because my colleagues pointed out, and I don't know if you agreed with them, they pointed out the timeline, the fact that you had just, it was less than a week when you had passed a vote of confidence on the Speaker. Shortly after, in less than 1 week, in fact, in a matter of days, you reconvened by yourselves without the knowledge of the Speaker, and you impeached him. What happened within that space?
The vote of confidence, that was politics, the vote of confidence. At this point, the PDP in the House of Assembly were 14 in number, 13 in number, and the APC had a little majority over PDP. And so we were laid into taking a resolution, giving a vote of confidence on the Speaker, which by our standing rules could be by simple majority. And I want you to get this clear. Now, there were certain underlying issues with the House, so trendly we're looking at. And some of them will issue internal issues which bordered on impropriety and high-handedness. Now, it was not proper for us to begin to bring out impropriety when we had not established sufficiently that impropriety has been done in terms of resources of the Assembly being managed by the Speaker. But high-handedness was exhibited well after we had passed a vote of confidence, purported vote of confidence. I want to put it like that.
Which you did not fault or object to? Because some people will say that because what we heard was that the entire Benue State House of Assembly gave a vote of confidence.
Yes, because
if some people were not happy with it,
yes,
we would have thought that they will convene a press conference to say, no, we were not happy with that, or,
yes,
you know, show some protest.
We didn't want to hit the politics, but in a parliament, I have told you that most of the resolutions are done by simple majority. And I've also analyzed that these people, at this point, were in the majority. We couldn't have gone to this because we're trying to gather facts and come out, which is what manifested just some few days after the resolution passing a vote.
We will have to take a moment now. When we come back, we will ask whether or not, you know, you also need a simple majority to reconvene the House, or do you also need the Speaker to reconvene before, you know, a sitting can happen? In a moment, please stay with us.